Hi everyone, this is Connie Strasheim. I'm a medical researcher and writer and the author of 8 books on holistic wellness. Some of the topics I've written about include cancer, chronic Lyme disease, environmental illness, nutrition, and spirituality. And I've also co-authored a 3-book series with Dr. William Lee Cowden. We're actually probably going to do more than 3 books, but so far this year we are releasing 3 books in a series called The Journey to Wellness. Now today I just want to talk about a subject that is probably important for many women, and it's a subject that a lot of people don't want to talk about because there has been this stigma or shame surrounding this issue, and that's basically premenstrual syndrome or PMS. A lot of women today, in fact by some estimates, over 75% of women suffer from premenstrual syndrome, especially women in their 30s, late 30s especially, and 40s. And one of the reasons that PMS occurs is because of the amount of environmental toxins to which we are all exposed daily. And you know, PMS is not a normal part of being a woman. God did not create women to have PMS, and there's nothing funny about it at all. I mean, you see how, I'm sorry, you know, I ask forgiveness of the male species, and I know how hard it is for men to deal with women that have PMS, but it's almost like when you make fun of a woman with PMS, it's like making fun of somebody that has a disease, or you know, and because that's what it feels like. You know, symptoms of PMS can mimic many diseases: the fatigue, the brain fog, the pain, the depression, the insomnia, the headaches, these things that a lot of women who have PMS suffer from. And you know, it can feel like having an illness when you have it really bad. And I know some women who have PMS for, gosh, it starts 10 days before their cycle, and then, you know, in the 5 days leading up to it, it's like they don't even put anything on their calendar because it's just so devastating. And I just want to talk to you today about some of the causes of PMS and then what you can do to heal from it. And so first of all, environmental toxicity is one of them. There are a lot of chemicals in our environment that have what are called xenoestrogenic effects upon the body. In other words, they act like fake estrogens in the body. And when your body has an imbalance of estrogen and progesterone, then, or an estrogen excess, which is most of us today, then you'll have symptoms of PMS. And because these chemicals act like estrogen in the body, so what you have to do is you have to get them out. And there are a number of different ways to do that. The first is to make sure your liver is functioning optimally. Do a liver cleanse, and I mean one of those intense ones like Hulda Clark that gets rid of liver stones, because all of us have hundreds of liver stones, and these liver stones build up and they make our livers less efficient at removing estrogen. So, you know, do one of these cleanses maybe twice a month for several months. See if that eliminates symptoms. I have a doctor friend, Steve Hines, he's a naturopathic doctor, and he says that some of his female patients have been able to come off of hormone replacement therapy just by doing liver cleanses, and so that gets rid of the estrogen. And then there are also compounds that, natural compounds like DIM, and I'm not sure I can pronounce this right, diindolylmethane or something like that, forgive me, I have to look it up, but it's a compound that will help the body to process out that estrogen. And for some women, bioidentical hormone replacement can be helpful. Some women find that by taking a progesterone cream that it helps to balance out the ratio of estrogen and progesterone. But what I found with those creams is that after a while they start to build up in your skin, and then so what happens is then you start having progesterone excess, even though a lab test may not show you to have too much progesterone, and then you get the same exact PMS symptoms. And for instance, I had a doctor tell me that I needed progesterone, and I was just thinking, well, the progesterone seems to be making things worse. I went off of it and I got better. So anyway, balancing progesterone and estrogen is really important, and it's an art, and you really need to see a doctor that's skilled in bioidentical hormone replacement in order to find out, you know, whether you could benefit from supplemental progesterone. And so those are just a couple common causes. The other thing is that when you have adrenal fatigue, which is a lot of us in today's society, then you can get PMS, because what happens is as you get closer and closer to menopause, then your adrenals start taking over the production of your sex hormones. And so the ovaries don't produce as much of the sex hormones, in that their responsibility gets deferred to the adrenals. And so if your adrenals aren't very strong, then what happens is you get hormonal imbalances. And so what you want to do is strengthen your adrenal glands as much as possible. And I talk about some ways to do this in my book, Beyond Lyme Disease, my 12, and you can find information about that at beyondlymedisease.com. But I also recommend Dr. Lamb's book, Adrenal Fatigue, to learn about how you can strengthen your adrenals. And it basically involves removing as many stressors from your life as possible, anything from sugar and caffeine to work stress, relationship stress, food allergies, and then strengthening your adrenal glands with substances like vitamin C, liposomal is better, vitamins B5, B6, pantothenic acid, and then in some cases adrenal glandulars can be helpful. So those are just some things you can do. Also, as it gets closer to that time of the month, it's better to eat a little bit less meat so your liver doesn't have to work as hard to process stuff. Avoid food allergens, especially that week before, and some of these things, and caffeine and sugar especially. And these things can help to mitigate the symptoms of PMS. So hope this information's been helpful. Thanks.